ABC Radio Sydney.
10 minutes to 9. It is a big morning at Parliament House this morning. The Prime Minister expected to have his second phone call with President Trump after the US announced plans to slap tariffs of up to 25% on steel and aluminium, including Australian. Will he manage to get an exemption for us? That's what happened last time when Trump was in office. What does this mean for you? We'll get some more on that after the news at 10 o'clock. But politicians in Canberra are obviously counting down until the PM calls the federal election. It could be just months away. Melissa McIntosh was one of the big winners of Peter Dutton's latest reshuffle. She was promoted into the Shadow Cabinet, given the critical portfolio of communications. She's also the Shadow Minister for Western Sydney. She joins me now. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Hamish, and a quick shout out to everyone in Western Sydney. I know there were some pretty big storms there last night and yesterday, so I hope everyone's okay.
Congratulations on your promotion. I know this is your first interview since being promoted. Your view on how much is riding for Australia on this phone call this morning between President Trump and the Prime Minister?
I think this is a very important and possibly overdue call that the Prime Minister needs to make to President Trump. And we are really, all Australians are backing the Prime Minister on this one. We need an exemption from the 25% tariff on aluminium and steel. It is absolutely essential we get this. We got a carve out previously when the coalition was in government. A lot of work went into that. It wasn't a last minute deal. But, you know, our manufacturing industry in this country is right on this cusp of closing. I've got an aluminium manufacturer in my electorate that is paying 100% more on their energy bills. There's a foundry in South Australia producing steel for our defence industry. This is for our sovereign capability. And not too long ago, they were at threat of going offshore because of energy bills. Could you imagine what a 25% tariff is going to do on our steel and aluminium industry? It's absolutely essential this call happens.
We obviously all experience the pressure of energy bills. You're going to the election promising nuclear power. What difference would it make for someone in Western Sydney if Australia went down this pathway? Can you put a figure on what the difference would be in our energy bills?
Right now, the issue is that the government has an all eggs in one basket approach on renewables. And I'm talking about our manufacturers in Western Sydney. And for Western Sydney listeners, Western Sydney was built on heavy industry. We need baseload power, whether it is in gas, whether it's coal, or in the future, we want it to be nuclear power. And we want nuclear power to be part of the mix.
But the
along
question
with
is,
renewables.
But the question is, what difference would it make? Because the opposition seems to be suggesting that this would be financially better for us in the longer term. Now, there's a huge dispute about whether that's the case. In fact, the government says it might make our bills more expensive. A lot of research backing that. So if we're voting in this coming election, could we expect cheaper bills because of a nuclear power policy?
Yes, when nuclear's online, but you've got to remember, we're talking about, and you asked me questions around people's power bills. The Prime Minister and the government promised Australians on 97 occasions during the 2022 election that by the start of 2025, that power bills would be down by $275. Yet people in Western Sydney, and that's my other important portfolio, are paying $1,000 more. And we have double income families lining up at food banks.
But this is a question about what you would do in government, not about what this government has or hasn't done. We're just months away from a federal election. Now, your new portfolio, communications, is often seen as a vexed one. The NBN falls under your responsibility now. You would be the communications minister if you win government. Would you look to sell it off, to privatise it? Obviously, some very big decisions there.
The current government's playing games on the potential to selling off the NBN. We have no plans to sell the NBN. It was Albanese's legislation that carved out the potential for that, and now they're mucking around in Parliament. But the reality, again, is Australians are paying up to 13% more for broadband, and around 100,000 people have left that product for other options. I think the government should be, in this cost of living crisis, addressing those issues to do with the NBN, as well as a broad spectrum.
You'll keep it in public hands. Would you work with, obviously the competition in some places is coming from Starlink. Would you be open to working with Elon Musk on how to improve, how to fix the NBN?
I think it's really important in a technology-driven world that we are now in to be looking at all the options that provide the best connections for Australians, that provide the most affordable energy or most affordable internet connections, because that's the way of the future. So, of course, all options are open. But right now it's in the government's hands, and prices are going up.
Would you want to bring Elon Musk in? Obviously, he likes this idea of working with governments. I know some on your side seem to quite like Elon and some of his ideas. Would you invite him to come and look at solutions?
We wouldn't be closing the door to anyone, and I think it is a wise decision, as I said, to be speaking to all the operators, and of course Elon Musk will be one of those. Okay,
one bill the government hasn't been able to pass is a ban on gambling advertising. This is another complicated issue that falls under communications. In the 2023 budget reply speech, Peter Dutton said he would ban sports betting advertising during the broadcasting of games and for an hour each side of a game. Is that a policy you're going to the election with?
Absolutely. Peter Dutton and the Coalition made our position on the harm that causes Australians when it comes to gambling advertising very clear a very long time ago. And this is to protect our kids. When people are watching live sport, it's often as a family. So we made that call. The government also had an inquiry into gambling harm, and they've been sitting on this it's a real landmark report into what could be done. They've been sitting on that since about June 2023, and we made our announcement in May 2023. And now pretty much every political party and every politician in this place in Canberra has come out with their own policies for the reduction of gambling harm. And there's one party that's out in the cold on this, and one leader that's out in the cold, and that's the Labor Party, and that's Prime Minister Albanese. They promised action on gambling harm, and we're leading into the election, and nothing has been done. We do have to get to the news. Very quick answer on this. Would you conduct a review of the ABC? Would you look at maybe privatising it or parts of it? Very brief answer. That's a big question, and of course, I had a meeting with Kim Williams already. I made my position on impartiality and fair and balanced reporting very clear, and I'm looking forward to really strong and constructive relationship with the ABC when we hopefully come into government. All right, we'll leave it there. Melissa McIntosh, thanks for your time this morning. Thanks, Hamish. It's news time.